Speaking to reporters just now, Donald Trump continues to fan the flames of division, claiming that political violence is exclusively of the left, when in fact it isn't, lying that the right doesn't celebrate political violence against the left, when in fact it often does, and openly admitting that he is launching weaponized investigations into his political opponents, and also, as a bonus, that he's seriously considering launching a regime change war against Venezuela. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, always count on Donald Trump to do the very worst thing, to do the exact opposite of what he should do based on his station in his office. Take a look.
Charlie Kirk, sir. What organizations on the left do you anticipate investigating? We talked about this last week.
Well, the problem is on the left. If you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right, like some people like to say on the right. The problem we have is on the left. And when you look at the agitators, you look at the scum that speaks so badly of our country, the American flag burnings all over the place, that's the left. That's not the right.
Do you plan on investigating?
We'll see. We'll be announcing.
More on the investigations in a moment. Just a couple of things to note. Number one, flag burning in the United States is constitutionally protected. You are absolutely entitled to do it, even if you don't think a person should. That is First Amendment free speech, free expression protections, and once again illustrates that Donald Trump has an absolutely objectively censorious worldview where he wants to infringe your constitutional rights to free speech and free expression. And I'll also point out, as we've discussed extensively, there have been numerous high-profile instances of political violence from the right against the left. The idea that it's exclusively a problem of the left is absolute bullshit, an objective lie. Here's another clip.
You know, they're already under major investigation. A lot of the people that you would traditionally say are on the left.
They're
already under investigation.
So there you go. He is openly admitting that people on the left are under weaponized investigation, that he is launching investigations into that. I just want you to imagine if President Obama or President Biden had said something similar about the right, about Republicans. You know, we're already launching investigations into people that you would consider on the right, that you traditionally consider on the right, these agitators. Imagine how MAGA and Trump and the Republican Party would have reacted in such a situation. They would be rightly apoplectic. But Donald Trump doesn't give a shit because it's not about consistency. It never has been, and it isn't for collectively, the MAGA movement, collectively. It's an authoritarian cult, right? So then, after admitting that brazen confession, just, yeah, we're launching investigations, which is dangerous, he then follows it up with a whopper of a lie.
They're
already under investigation.
Have you asked to start revoking the visas of those who have celebrated Charlie Kirk's death?
What?
Have you asked to start revoking the visas of the foreigners who have celebrated Charlie Kirk's death?
No, we haven't, but we are looking at names. We don't like that. That's not right. We wouldn't celebrate if something happened on their side, and we don't. These are sick people. These are really deranged people.
He just lied his ass off because not only have right-wingers and Republicans, including Republican politicians, celebrated political violence against the left, Donald Trump is one of them. I mean, look at the quotes on this particular clip where people are reacting to it on social media. As Harry Sisson points out, Trump mocked Paul Pelosi getting attacked. He is a total liar. Keith Edwards of The Keith Edwards Show, which is really popping off on YouTube. You guys should check it out. This is what Donald Trump said on camera during his reelection bid.
We'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
So that was Trump openly mocking, and not the first time, not the only time, Paul Pelosi, who was not a politician. It would be bad enough, it would be objectively terrible if it were a politician. He's merely the husband of somebody in politics that Donald Trump doesn't like, Nancy Pelosi. And a Trump-supporting deranged attacker went to their house to kidnap her, but she was not there. And so instead, he attacked Paul Pelosi, who was in his 80s, nearly beat him to death with a hammer. And Donald Trump is openly mocking it. So he is objectively full of shit. Folks, let's be clear about this, to say nothing of, again, as other people are pointing out, Mike Lee mocking the brutal assassination just 3 months ago of one Democratic lawmaker in Minnesota and her spouse. They were both killed by a Trump supporter, and another Democratic lawmaker and his wife were shot by that same attacker. They just survived. You have a sitting Republican senator, Mike Lee, openly mocking it. And then going back to the Paul Pelosi example, you have Don Jr., who is not in elected office, but he's the president's son. He's a high-profile, wildly influential MAGA Republican figure because he's basically the prince, the crown prince of the MAGA kingdom. And he openly mocked Paul Pelosi's attack as well. So again, it's just objectively untrue. Now, you can say, well, listen, people should get a sense of humor. That's fine. You are entitled to make fun of people who are attacked and who are killed. You have that right in this country. It is not forbidden. It is not illegal. But the standard has to cut both ways. We either act civilly or anything goes as far as humor is concerned. If what you want, which is what Trump wants and so many MAGA Republicans want, which is the license to make fun of liberals and progressives and Democrats when they suffer violence or any sort of misfortune, but you don't want to be able, or you don't want to have to deal with it on your side, if you can't take it, don't dish it out. It is so disgusting and pathetic that is animating so much of the MAGA movement these days. Pick a standard and then reciprocate. If you want civility, you must show civility. If you want to be able to make jokes, that's fine. Uncouth, callous jokes, then you need to be able to take those jokes in turn. But we're seeing the height of hypocrisy. Here's another clip.
Are you going with us? Huh? Are you going with us, Maggie?
Not with you.
Good.
Just one more on Venezuela. The president of Venezuela called the strike on the boat illegal. Are you concerned that Maduro might escalate something?
No, what's illegal are the drugs that were on the boat and the drugs that are being sent into our country.
So again, this is a reference to the speedboat filled with 11 Venezuelans that was just brutally attacked. I mean, it was vaporized by the United States military. Now, Trump claims that those 11 Venezuelans were drug traffickers. Number one, we don't know that to be true. Number two, the Trump administration lies all the time, so we have no reason to take them at face value. Number three, even if they are drug traffickers, they are not enemy combatants and are still afforded due process. What Trump did was almost certainly a violation of both international and domestic law. If you have suspected drug traffickers, you need to interdict the ship. You need to interdict the boat, which they could have effortlessly done because it was a speedboat. And the United States had like destroyers in the region. It would have been effortless to do it. And then if the drug traffickers, the alleged drug traffickers, attempt to attack the U.S. assets, then the U.S. can return fire and kill them and sink the ship. That is self-defense, but that's not what happened. As a matter of fact, subsequent reporting indicated that the boat was turning around. They were like, oh, okay, we're done. And the United States viciously and persistently attacked them until they died. So there's just so many issues with that every which way. But Donald Trump doesn't give a damn about human rights or civil rights or due process or things of that nature. Got a couple of other clips here. This is when he considers, again, strikes in mainland Venezuela, and another clip, a potential regime change.
And just on that, do you think we will start doing strikes on mainland Venezuela?
Oh, we'll see what happens. Look, Venezuela is sending us their gang members, their drug dealers, and drugs. It's not acceptable.
So again, are you considering launching mainland strikes into mainland Venezuela? We'll see what happens. So the guy who's the pro-peace candidate, right? That's what we heard. He's the pro-peace president. Now has tried to rename his Department of Defense into the Department of War. His White House propaganda machine is literally putting out official images of him called the wartime president. So it's been a total 180. And on top of this, he's considering mainland strikes into Venezuela. And then here, he seems again hinting that whatever a military operation occurs, it would be for regime change in Venezuela.
Is getting rid of the president an option? Is getting rid of Maduro an option now?
We'll see what happens. Not an option or not option. We'll see. He had an election that was wrong. It was almost as corrupt as our election of 2020. You know?
Well, given that the 2020 election wasn't corrupt, are you saying that Maduro is actually a legitimate president? You just don't like the outcome? I mean, listen, the reality is this. In all seriousness, this is, again, a total 180 and a betrayal of Donald Trump's campaign promises. Is he doing it for nefarious purposes? Is he do it to try to distract from the failing economy or the wildly unpopular One Big Beautiful Bill or the Epstein files debacle? I have no idea. But this is genuinely unhinged, and Donald Trump seems to be getting worse. And again, we're only 8 months in. That's where we are, about 3.5 years to go. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.